Black mechanic rescues woman and her kids in blizzard. What happened next was unthinkable. A lone figure battles a raging blizzard, their old pickup truck fishtailing wildly on an icy Chicago highway. Inside, a woman and two terrified children huddle together, their car buried in a snowdrift, hope fading with the dying daylight. The mechanic, a black man named Marcus, fights against the storm, his determined eyes fixed on the stranded family, a stark contrast to the overwhelming whiteout. Marcus tightened his grip on the steering wheel, the biting wind howling like a hungry wolf. He knew what it was like to be left out in the cold, to be judged by the color of his skin before anyone saw his skills. Helping this family wasn't just about fixing a car. It was about offering the warmth and safety he sometimes felt was denied to people like him. He reached their car, the mother, Sarah, visibly shaken but trying to appear strong for her kids. As Marcus worked quickly, his movements precise despite the freezing temperatures, another car, a luxury SUV, slid to a stop nearby. The driver, a white man in a business suit, rolled down his window just enough to sneer. "Looks like someone couldn't handle a little snow. Probably shouldn't be on the road in the first place." Marcus ignored him, focusing on freeing Sarah's car. The SUV driver gunned his engine, trying to power through the deep snow, only to get his own vehicle stuck deeper. Sarah watched, a flicker of grim satisfaction in her eyes, as Marcus, having already assessed their situation, calmly used his tow rope and his truck's winch to effortlessly pull her sedan free. The man in the SUV just stared, dumbfounded. "Thank you," Sarah said, her voice thick with relief. "I don't know what we would have done." Marcus simply nodded, already moving towards the stuck SUV. The driver scoffed. "You think you can get this out?" Marcus, without a word, expertly attached the tow rope. Years spent working on all kinds of vehicles in his small shop had given him an intuitive understanding of mechanics and physics that most dismissive onlookers never suspected. With a steady pull, Marcus's old truck strained but held, and the expensive SUV lurched free. Sarah's children, who had been watching with wide, scared eyes, now giggled with delight. The driver of the SUV, his face a mask of disbelief, grudgingly mumbled a thank you. The subtle power dynamic had shifted. The man who had offered judgment now owed a debt to the person he had dismissed. As Marcus checked Sarah's car one last time, she noticed the name stitched on his worn jacket. Marcus Jones, owner, Jones Automotive. Her eyes widened slightly. "Jones Automotive? You're the Marcus Jones? I've heard great things about your shop. People drive all the way from the North Shore just for your expertise." The businessman, still brushing snow off his fancy vehicle, looked up sharply, a dawning realization on his face. He had just been condescending to a man whose reputation for brilliance far exceeded his own. The SUV driver's shoulders slumped. He avoided eye contact, the arrogance that had defined his earlier demeanor completely gone, replaced by a palpable sense of shame and embarrassment. He quickly got back into his vehicle and drove away without another word. Marcus watched him go, then turned back to Sarah and her children, a quiet sense of dignity in his bearing. As Sarah drove away safely, she gave Marcus a grateful wave. He stood by his truck, the blizzard beginning to subside, the faint sunlight glinting off his wrench. A simple tool representing his skill and the quiet victory he had earned over prejudice and a harsh winter. Ever been underestimated? Sometimes, quiet brilliance can win the day. What would you do if your moment came? Follow for more stories of hidden victories.